I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Hey guys, welcome back, and this is my first time trying a voiceover in a while, so I'm sorry if I sound sloppy or trip up here and there. I'm gonna try my best to not do that. So I apologize ahead of time for audio quality or anything you don't like about this. So first things first is, why am I doing this video? I really just think that there's a lot of unnecessary speculation about Red Velvet disbanding in 2021. I just don't see it happening. I think a lot of fans have been assuming they've been extremely inactive, which is untrue. The girls have been quite busy this year. They haven't been busy as an OT5 group or promoting as a group, but their solo promotions and subunit promotions have kept them plenty busy. Wendy clearly needs time to recover from her injury this year, and I feel like taking a year off isn't going to kill Red Velvet since they have an active and well-off fan base. I do think they'll be just fine in 2021, as long as their fans continue to support them in the way they have been doing. So, without further ado, let's get into it. In regards to Wendy's injury, I think that she should have been given the time to heal, and I think halting her solo promotions and also not having her do anything major this year was smart, since injuries like that to the pelvis do take quite a bit of time to heal, and the amount of rehabilitation and the expenses that would have cost her are enormous. I'm happy she didn't have to do anything this year that wasn't out of her comfort zone at the moment. So when it comes to solo promotions, Wendy has still been lightly active in the music industry, coming out with 2 songs this year that are non-Red Velvet related, and we'll go ahead and list those. So she worked on OSTs this year. She did 2 OSTs for 2 different shows. One, The King, Eternal Monarch, and Startup, which is relatively new from what I've seen. The Eternal Monarch song was My Day is Full of You. It was a duet with an artist called Zico, and the other song for Startup was called 2 Words, and it was a solo track for that drama. So that's all I've really found on Wendy this year that she's done in the music industry. I couldn't find anything else that wasn't group related, and I will go into those later in the video, but only when I talk about the group promotions they've done as an OT5 group. So that's really all I have for Wendy, so I might as well get to the next member since there's once again not much to go off of, but I recommend checking out these songs and these dramas, and I'll have them listed on the screen if you're curious. In regards to Erry, she's gotten a lot of opportunities this year. Her solo promotions have been great. She's participated in some unique projects that I feel like us international fans wouldn't know about, and I'm going to educate you on today so we can get a little bit more of an idea of what she's been doing this year. And trust me, this had to be divided up into sections because she's participated and done some very interesting things. So I'll start off with our first particular segment. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and give you an idea of why that title for a segment is so long. So it turns out that this company called Fever Music started what they call the 2020 Cool Summer Project. So if you don't know who Cool were a co-ed group composed of 3 members, 1 female and 2 male members, back in first generation of K-pop, and they were popular in what seems to be the late 90s and early 2000s. That's when they were primarily active, and they have since then disbanded, although the members seem to be active in their own solo projects. They were popular back in the day and won some awards, so they are pretty relevant to the domestic public. However, international fans probably wouldn't know about them since so many of us are new. So what they are doing this year is they remade 4 of the group's songs on an EP called the 2020 Cool Summer Project. Erry participated as the female singer in 2 of those songs, and we'll get into those now. The first song Erry helped bring back to life was Woman on the Beach, a song originally released back in 1997, and this year has been marketed as the lead single of this small EP they've been making. Woman on the Beach has a music video as well. I'd recommend you check it out. I might link it in a pinned comment depending on whether or not I forget. Please remind me if I do when you actually care about it. I'll try to find the original music videos here on YouTube and do my best, but if I can't, I'm sorry and I apologize. However, Woman on the Beach, she helped bring back to life alongside Ravi and John Woong. Now, the other song she helped make, which was a B-side track, Sorrow, she helped also bring back to life with Ravi and Kim Woo-suk. Once again, these songs will be listed on the screen so you can see which songs they are and what tracks they are in the EP. I hope you please give these a listen, as I have myself and I do like them, although they aren't added to my playlist. I would recommend giving them a shot. And I will link all the sources down below for where I got this information, because it did take some research before I fully understood the project. Now, on to the next one. Okay, so erry has been working with a company called Dum Dum Studio since 2019 to release behind-the-scenes vlogs on her Dear Diary project. Now, Dum Dum Studio are known for working with various people in the Korean entertainment industry, but erry is one of their more relevant, more popular subjects on the channel. She's participated in quite a few projects of theirs, and I'll be getting into those 2 projects today. Besides just her little vlog project and behind the scenes making of her music video, I'll be getting into 3 tiny little things she's done with them that you'll be very interested in. This year, erry has made quite a bit of behind-the-scenes content, as well as some from last year. There is a playlist on Dum Dum Studio's channel all about erry behind the scenes. It has, at the moment, 29 videos, and I would recommend you check it out. Alright, this year erry in Korea made a radio show that has become a small video series on Dum Dum Studio's YouTube channel. It's basically a series where erry plays the role of an MC, interviewing fellow idols or people in the entertainment industry of Korea on their most recent activities in the industry to help them promote their content while also having fun with them on camera. She does various little tasks with them and interviews them as well about what they've been doing. The show is currently at the 24th episode, part 2, with 48 videos on the playlist, including teaser videos. I would recommend you go check it out, as it's quite a lot of fun and very enjoyable content. Okay, so erry and Dum Dum Studio collabed to make this playlist called erry's Music Gift. There are 9 songs that could be covers, original content, or acoustic versions of whatever, just remix versions of whatever, that are short videos coming out by the end of the year. There's supposed to be 9 of them, and currently only 6 have been released at the moment, so there are still 3 to go. Alright, so once again, 6 songs have been released, and I'm going to go ahead and list off the artist for you here. So the first song she covered was Bunny by Bok, who is a female K-pop soloist. Then there's Love, who is a male soloist. She covered his song Modern Loneliness. He is a singer-songwriter who primarily goes for the sounds of pop, electro-pop, and contemporary R&B. There's Sasha Sloan, who is also a female soloist, but not here in K-pop. She covered the song Dancing with Your Ghost, and she is a female singer in the alternative and indie genres. Mae Mueller's song Anti-Climax was also covered by erry. Mae Mueller is a singer-songwriter who works in the pop and contemporary R&B genres. Now, number 5, erry covered a short version of Red Velvet's Bad Boy, but as an acoustic track. That is a power move right there. And finally, for track 6, she had a short song she wrote called These Days, which is her own original song by herself. So, like I said, 6 out of the 9 are out at the moment. These are the 6 we have. There probably will be 3 more released by the end of the year, and I'd recommend looking out for those. The playlist will be linked in the description box. This lovely playlist concludes all of erry's solo promotions that I've been able to find and look at. So this concludes our erry segment, and now on to Joy. Joy's been decently active this year in the K-pop music industry. I wouldn't say she's been the most overtly active, but she's done a few small projects here and there. Nothing too extreme like erry, where she's done so much that I could and had to dedicate a few segments of a video to it. I mean, enough to where I can make a smaller segment on it, and some cute stuff that I decided I'd include for fun. So let's go ahead and get started. This year, Joy donated her voice to be on the soundtrack for a show called Hospital Playlist. She did a solo track and sings a solo track on it called Introduce Me a Good Person. Next thing she did was she featured on a single called Homemade One. The song on the single she was featured on was called Mayday, and the genre of the song is R&B and soul. The song itself is by Crush, and you can see Joy in the music video. It was released May 20th, 2020, and I have to say, it definitely fits the early spring, early part of the year vibes that really gave off in early 2020. I really like it, and I would recommend all of you to listen to it. Joy's part is definitely worth the song, and the song itself is incredible. Give it a listen. I'll link the music video in the description for all of you to see. Alright, so the final thing that we're going to talk about for Joy is she did a cover of a song on SM's YouTube channel. The song is called Look at Me. I do not know and could not find the original artist. However, she did perform the song with a Korean pianist as well in the cover, who goes by the name Mu-chi, is what I could find. I tried translating it through Google Translate, but once again, that is not a smart move and you should never do that. So that's all I've really got for Joy's segment. That's really all I could find on her this year. Once again, her promotions have been pretty sparse, but she's been pretty active regardless, and I think a lot of the music she's come out with is great. So let's move on. So speaking of Crush, Joy is a huge fan of him, and she ended up doing a cover of one of his songs when she decided to come back with him as well. She covered his song Alone, which I will be leaving in the description as a little fun thing for you to see. Now let's move on to the final thing. Alright, so I decided to put Irene and Sugi in their own subunit promotion segment because they didn't really have many solo activities this year. Irene doesn't have an Apple Music profile, and Sugi literally has done nothing this year music-wise, so I just decided to focus on their subunit promotions as a separate segment. So let's get started. If you didn't know, which you must be very new if you didn't know this, or you must be a high-key boy group stan, like a high-key boy group stan, or living under a rock. But Red Velvet has been a group for around 7 years now. And two of their members, Irene and Solgi, got together this year to form their first Red Velvet subunit and have Monster, the first mini-album. The mini-album consists of 6 tracks at the moment. The tracks are Monster, the lead single that's been heavily promoted and has a music video as well that will be posted in the description box. Diamond, Feel Good, Jelly, Uncover, which is sung by Solgi and has a music video / dance video to it, and Naughty. Naughty has a dance video, music video type thing going on. It has a video series, if I'm being honest, that I'll probably just link you to a playlist of. Naughty, however, wasn't released on streaming platforms till a little bit later, as it had a separate promotional period than the one given to Monster, and was meant to be a separate single adding to the lore of Monster. Potentially, depending on who you are and what you believe about this subunit, they likely tell a story. And finally, Ice Cream Volume 3 released the Demi-Cat remix of Naughty as well, which also has a music video that I will be showing. So technically this subunit has had 2 promotional periods and quite a bit of money invested into music videos, costuming, and styling. It's been a rather successful subunit, and they've done a really good job with the dark horror concept. And seeing that this is the first mini-album, they are likely to have a comeback or 2 next year as a subunit. Now, let us get on to group promotions. No matter what you think, Red Velvet has been active in the industry. Not to an extreme degree, but to a degree to where they still exist. And we're going to get into some of the little things they've been doing right now. Alright, the first project I thought was really awesome was the Our Beloved Boa album. So if you don't know, this year, SM has an artist called Boa. She's been in a game as a soloist since she was 14 years old in the late 90s and early 2000s. She's been in the game for 20 years, and she's done an excellent job. She's had a major influence on K-pop, and she's a huge solo artist. Some non-K-pop fans who've listened to K-pop in the early 2000s would tell you they've heard of Boa. She's pretty well relevant, and she's still making music to this day. Her music has evolved with the times and changed over the years, and she's just been an excellent artist to watch grow. Boa, like I said, is one of the longest standing artists in the game, and she's under SM Entertainment. SM has been managing her for quite a while, and she's done a great job. This year, to pay homage to Boa, they made an album composed of their current and old artists contributing their voices to the album to make their own original songs for it. The album is called Our Beloved Boa. Red Velvet sang the track Milky Way, which is track 4 on Our Beloved Boa. I would recommend giving it a listen, and it's fantastic. The fact that Red Velvet are dedicating their voices to such a historic artist in the industry is incredible and a great thing to do. Alright, Red Velvet has also contributed their voices to the drama Startup, as we've seen with Wendy and Joy as well. They also did this as an OT5 group, performing the song Future for the show. Red Velvet have also worked on their 2021 season's greeting package as a OT5 group. Now, after I've spat all that information in your face, we're gonna look at, is Red Velvet gonna have a comeback in 2021? According to the CEO of SM, even after Irene's scandal, he admitted that Red Velvet they still have plans for and will have a comeback in the near future. That is most likely in 2021 and not in the coming weeks. I would say sometime in probably early next year, probably between February and May would be the rough estimate I have. Before we get right into the predictions, I wanted to go ahead and slant one thing. Number one, Red Velvet's gonna get disbanded within the next year. I highly doubt that. If they do next year, you can call me a clown, but I highly doubt they're going to get disbanded. A lot of people expected an OT5 comeback at the end of this year or sometime this year. However, I have to disagree in saying it was going to happen. Although I kind of expected it myself around this time, now that I really think about it, it makes more sense not to have an OT5 comeback. I'm sorry, but Wendy literally broke her pelvis and fell the equivalent of 8 stories. That is not a normal thing to do. The girl was hospitalized for a reason and had to do all kinds of recovery. I don't even want to mention what it was. Physical therapy and all kinds of things. That's expensive and time consuming, and it's not easy for her to make a recovery right away. I'm not shocked this injury took more than a little bit of a year to heal. I hope she's doing well, and I wish nothing but for the best for her. But I think fans are being a little delusional and exaggerating when they say Red Velvet got a lot going on last year. They had the trilogy. And then they have no comebacks this year? Disbandment. No. Someone broke their pelvis. That's not normal. Honey, that's not normal. That is not a normal injury to have. No wonder the group's been postponed an OT5 comeback. Plus, I think it was really smart, since Red Velvet was an old group, to focus on the members as individuals, to promote them, to give them future careers. I think the girls are going to disband within the next 5 years. I don't think 2021 will be the year they do it, however, but I do think it's going to happen. And I have no problem with it. I think they'll move on in the industry, and I'll support them in either way they come, whether they're solos or duos. Now, my predictions for 2021. I do think Red Velvet will have around 2 comebacks as a group, and I do think Irene and Sugi will have 1 mini-album comeback as a subunit. Wendy, Joy, and Erry may have a subunit debut, or Wendy may have an official solo debut, although she's been a soloist for quite some time. Personally, I do think that there will be a potential subunit debut of Wendy, Joy, and Erry, or there could be a solo debut of one of the members, and the remaining 2 could be a subunit. Those are my chances and predictions. You can tell me I'm wrong in the comment section, but this video has been really long already, and I don't feel like extending it any further. I hope you guys have a great day, I hope you guys have had an amazing Hanukkah. I hope you have a great Kwanzaa and an amazing Christmas. Merry to you all, and to you all, a good night.